Walk into almost any fast food restaurant, diner, or grocery store, and you'll likely see both chicken strips and chicken tenders, which are often assumed to be the same. Breaded, fried chicken served with dipping sauces. But despite their similar appearance, chicken strips and chicken tenders are not actually the same thing. The difference begins with where the meat comes from, continues through how they're prepared, and even affects their texture and flavor. While restaurants sometimes use the names interchangeably for marketing purposes, the food itself can vary quite a bit. So what exactly separates a chicken strip from a chicken tender? The answer lies in anatomy, processing, and cooking techniques that most people never think about. Let's dive in, right here, on History of Simple Things. The most important distinction is that a chicken tender is an actual part of the chicken. Officially called the pectoralis minor muscle, the tenderloin sits directly beneath the chicken breast, attached by a thin membrane. Every chicken has only two of these muscles, one on each side, making chicken tenders a naturally limited cut. Because this muscle performs very little work during the bird's life, it contains fine muscle fibers and very little connective tissue. That gives chicken tenders their signature tenderness, which is where the name comes from. They cook quickly and remain juicy when prepared correctly because of their delicate structure. When restaurants advertise real chicken tenders, they are often referring to these intact tenderloin muscles rather than pieces cut from the breast. Since there are only two per bird, authentic chicken tenders are generally more expensive than products made from sliced breast meat. Their naturally uniform shape also makes them ideal for breading and frying without requiring much trimming or reshaping. Chicken strips, unlike chicken tenders, are not a specific anatomical cut. Instead, they are usually slices cut from a boneless, skinless chicken breast, although some manufacturers may use thigh meat or a combination of white meat depending on the product. The breast is a much larger muscle than the tenderloin, allowing producers to cut multiple strips from a single piece of meat. This makes chicken strips easier and less expensive to produce on a large scale. Because they're cut by people or machines rather than naturally shaped, chicken strips often vary in length, width, and thickness. Their texture also differs slightly because breast meat has denser muscle fibers than the tenderloin. While still lean and flavorful, chicken strips usually have a firmer bite. In processed frozen foods, the term chicken strips may also refer to formed products made from chopped or restructured chicken rather than whole muscle cuts. So reading ingredient labels can reveal whether you're buying intact chicken or a processed alternative. The difference in muscle structure has a noticeable impact on how each product cooks and tastes. Chicken tenders are prized for their exceptionally soft texture because the tenderloin muscle contains fewer tough fibers. They remain moist even after frying, baking, or air frying, provided they are not overcooked. Chicken strips, especially those cut from breast meat, are slightly firmer and can dry out more quickly if cooked too long, since chicken breast is naturally lean. Flavor differences are relatively subtle because both cuts come from the same general area of the bird, but tenders often seem juicier simply because they retain moisture more effectively. Breading also plays an important role. Thick seasoned coatings can make strips and tenders taste nearly identical, while lighter breading allows their natural textures to stand out. Professional kitchens often adjust cooking times accordingly, as thinner tenders cook faster than thicker breast strips. Understanding these characteristics helps explain why one version may seem softer or more succulent than the other. Restaurants often use chicken tenders and chicken strips interchangeably because of marketing and customer expectations. Many diners assume tender means higher quality and softer meat, so menus use the term even for sliced breast meat. There are no strict naming rules in restaurants, so definitions vary widely between chains and brands. One place may serve true tenderloins, while another uses cut breast pieces coated and labeled the same way. Fast food and frozen products often rely on branding rather than anatomy when choosing names. Some even call breast strips tenders because they resemble the traditional style after cooking. For customers, the name alone is unreliable, so checking ingredients or descriptions gives a clearer answer. Labels, menus, and ingredient lists are more accurate than product names when deciding what type of chicken you're actually getting in restaurants or grocery stores. Neither chicken strips nor chicken tenders is objectively better. Each has advantages depending on preference. Tenders are naturally more tender and juicy because they come from a delicate muscle, making them ideal for simple preparations and popular in kids' meals. Strips, cut from larger chicken breasts, are more versatile and consistent in size, working well in sandwiches, salads, wraps, and larger dishes. They are also usually more affordable since more portions can be produced from one chicken. Both provide lean protein when not heavily breaded or fried. In the end, the difference matters less than preparation. Seasoning, cooking method, and ingredient quality have a bigger impact on taste and texture than whether the meat is a tenderloin or a breast cut. Overall, both are widely enjoyed options in many meals. Chicken tenders are a natural muscle under the breast, while chicken strips are cut from the breast, making them more common and affordable. This affects texture and price, though breading can make them taste similar. Neither is better. Both are delicious when prepared well, and knowing the difference just helps you choose more wisely. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.